All right. Well, hello and welcome to anybody who is tuning in live or tuning in to the replay. My name is Leah Petrucci, and I'm going to be your host this evening for the online gathering place. I'm going to introduce myself a little bit first, and then I'm going to give an idea of what we're going to be doing tonight. But actually, first, I would love to know if anybody is tuning in live, and if so, where are you tuning in from? If you would like to put that in the comments, just give a shout out and say wherever you are tuning in from. Actually, it doesn't look like I've got anybody live yet, but maybe in a couple of minutes, we'll have some people joining. But just to give you an idea of what we're going to do tonight, this is called the Online Gathering Place. Hey, Rachel. Yay. I'm getting a hello from Rachel, who is the heart and soul behind this project that is called the Online Gathering Place. She is the brains behind this project, and she and I met several months ago and talked about doing this together. And the idea behind the Online Gathering Place is to eventually, we would love to provide 24-hour access for people to go to, for people to log on to a live platform and participate in some interactive activities to help boost mood, to help reduce anxiety, to help calm your nervous system, and maybe even have some fun. So right now, there's a couple of us manning the Online Gathering Place, but we hope in the future we will be able to grow this project and be able to provide 24/7 access for y'all. But at this time, this is my first night doing this, and I hope to be able to provide this for y'all every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And so a little bit about myself before I get started with tonight's activity. So my name is Leah Petrucci. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I'm also a holistic health and lifestyle coach. I'll tell you a little bit more about the work that I do at the end, and give you some resources and some links where you can contact me if you'd like more information about the work that I do. But basically, we're gonna do some mental health related stuff tonight. I'm going to be leading y'all in a tapping demonstration, and if you've never heard of tapping, I'm going to explain what tapping is, and I'm going to provide a demonstration, and I invite y'all to do it along with me, whether you're live or whether you're watching the replay. Just a little FYI before we get started. I am dog sitting this evening. It is starting to thunder where I am, and the little girl that I am dog sitting for, Lola, is sitting right here and is shaking. She's very anxious, and I'm just kind of rubbing on her, hoping to kind of bring her some peace and calm. And maybe when we start going and doing the tapping can actually work for animals too. And I actually did some tapping on Lola yesterday when she was having some anxiety about some loud noises that were going on. So tapping is excellent to calm the nervous system. And so that's what I'm going over tonight. And hopefully y'all will enjoy it and we'll get some benefit from it. So let's see. All right, let me look at my notes here. So I explained a little bit about the gathering place. One other thing I just want to mention about these phone calls, if at any time anybody who's watching is feeling suicidal, I invite you to call a 24-hour suicide hotline, and I'm going to, very easy, but I'm going to put the number up just in case. At any time you're feeling suicidal, there's a 24-hour hotline called 211. and you can dial 211 from your phone, and it will get you to your county's crisis hotline. And they are 24/7. They are manned with trained crisis counselors. So if you're struggling tonight, you're having thoughts of harming yourself, and you want to talk to a trained counselor, right now, call 211. I actually used to work for 211 for 5 years at the one in Hillsborough County in Tampa, Florida. So highly recommend if that's something that anybody who's watching ever struggles with. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about tapping and how that can help. So I'll give a general overview. And actually, the formal name, I'll put it up here so you can see. The formal name of tapping is called Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT, as some of you may have heard, but we call it tapping because that's just easier to say, and it also explains what it is and what we do. So EFT, or tapping, was originally created by two men are considered the pioneers of tapping, Roger Callahan and Gary Craig. It was formulated in the 80s and 90s. And it's basically a combination of ancient or traditional Chinese medicine practices, so acupuncture and acupressure, using meridians to tap gentle pressure on different acupuncture points or acupressure points, combined with modern psychology. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching you the different tapping points, and there are 9 tapping points that we're going to be using. We're going to go through those, and I'm going to show you how to do the tapping. And then once I show you how to do the tapping, I'm going to walk you through a script. I'm going to be reading off of a script, and we're going to be processing thoughts and emotions at the same time. And the idea behind this, there's been a lot of science, peer-reviewed research studies to prove that tapping has great benefits for so many things. Let's see, to name a few: anxiety, emotions, hence the name Emotional Freedom Technique. It helps you to free yourself and your body from those intense emotions. It also helps with things like health and wellness and chronic pain. It helps with bad habits. It helps with limiting beliefs. It can help with perfectionism, can help with goal setting, productivity, can help with all kinds of anxieties about different things, about finances, about a relationship. It can help with cravings, if you're struggling with smoking, if you're struggling with drinking, substance abuse, overeating, emotional eating. So many things tapping can be used for. Essentially anything that activates the nervous system and causes a fight or flight response, tapping can be useful for. And I love it because it's quick and efficient, and it's easy to do. Once you learn how to do it, it's fairly easy to do. And you can also, it's very flexible. That's another thing I love about tapping, is that it's very flexible. You can really modify it and make it work for you. And I'll kind of talk about that as we go along. But there's been lots of science to prove that it works. And what's happening is while we're tapping these 9 different acupuncture points, we're giving gentle stimulation to these points. And what's going on inside the body is we are helping the body to circulate more blood flow. We're helping to circulate oxygen. We're getting the lymphatic fluid to move. Our lymphatic fluid is basically our immune system, is our toxin elimination system. And when our lymphatic fluid gets clogged or stagnant, then we can't detox toxins that are in our body. We have lymph nodes all over the body. We have lymph nodes underneath the neck is one of the main places where we have lymph nodes, and those can get stagnant and swollen when we get sick or when we're just not feeling our best. So tapping is another great way to get lymphatic fluid to flow and detox the body. So so many health benefits that tapping can provide. So let's go over the 9 different points, and then I'll lead you guys in a tapping demonstration. Okay, so the first point is called the karate chop point, and that is the fleshy part in between on the side of the hand. And you can use any hand. It doesn't matter which hand you use. In fact, you can switch. If you're tapping on one hand and it's getting uncomfortable and you want to switch to the other hand. So that's the first point. And the amount of stimulation varies for each person. Do what feels good to you. If it feels good to use all 4 fingers, then tap with all 4 fingers. It feels good to just do 1 finger, 2 fingers, or you can also just rub that area. You can also just touch and hold that area. Do what works for you. Sometimes I don't have the energy to tap. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm anxious and I want to get the benefits, but I just don't have the energy to tap, then I will maybe just touch and hold that point and breathe in and out. Okay, second point is the eyebrow point, and that's the side of the eyebrow, kind of that crease where the eyebrow meets the bridge of the nose. And you can do either side here. You can do the right side, you can do the left side, or you can do both, whatever feels good to you. So that's the eyebrow point. And just some gentle stimulation. You don't really want to bang yourself. You don't want to cause any pain. And again, you can just rub if that feels better, or you can just touch and hold. All right, the third point is the side of the eye, kind of that temple area. Again, you can do 2 hands, or you can do one or the other, whatever feels good. And you can switch back and forth. That's also the beauty of tapping, is it's very flexible. Okay, and then the next point is underneath the eye, kind of at the top of the cheekbone there. This is actually the stomach meridian in ancient or traditional, I keep saying ancient, but traditional Chinese medicine. This is the stomach point. So whenever your stomach isn't feeling well, you can give this point here some tap, tap, tap. Again, you can do both, or you can do one or the other. Okay, the next point is underneath the nose, kind of where the mustache area is. So you can tap this way, or you can turn your hand to the side. If you have long nails and you don't want to stab yourself, you can do it like this too. Whatever feels good to you. How many times really doesn't matter. Do what feels good to you. Whenever you feel like changing to the next point, go ahead and change to the next point. If you want to spend some extra time on certain points, feel free to do that. Next point is the chin, where that crease is right there. Okay. Next point is the collarbone. So find where the collarbones meet in the middle, and then go down an inch and out an inch. And you don't have to get exact. Because this is not acupuncture, we're not putting any needles in. That's exact. This is more like acupressure. So as long as you're getting the general area, then you're getting it. Okay, so again, you can do both hands here if you want. You can do one side or the other. Or some people take their hand and do it this way. Whatever feels good to you. You can also just rub that area, play around with it, and see what works for you. All right. I actually noticed right there as I was rubbing this area that I had a couple of swallows, and that is a sign that my nervous system is calming down. That's a sign that the nervous system is going from a sympathetic state, which is that stress response or that fight or flight response, down to a parasympathetic state, which is that relaxation response, or what we call rest and digest. So that's a good sign. So some signs that you want to look for while we're tapping are swallowing, more saliva production, maybe a spontaneous breath or a sigh, like, that's a sign that the body's relaxing. A yawn. If you feel a yawn coming on, let it out. That's a release. That's a good parasympathetic release. That means your body is calming down. And I won't take offense. I know I can't see you guys, but yawns are actually a compliment. That means that I'm doing my job in relaxing you. Okay, so the next point is the side of the arm. So ladies, where your bra strap is. For men, just maybe 4 inches down from the armpit. And again, you can do both sides here if you want, or you can just do one or the other. You can also cross. I sometimes like to do cross because it kind of feels like a little self-hug. And this is also great. This is the spleen point in Chinese medicine. So you're giving your spleen a little bit of energy. Spleen gets depleted when we go into fight or flight. All right. And then the last point is the top of the head. So you can do it with a flat hand here, or you can do it with fingers. Okay. So those are the 9 points. And if anybody has questions as we go along, go ahead and pop them in the chat and I will get to them as I see them. And we'll definitely have an opportunity after the demonstration to, I'd love to hear, some comments, some feedback, some questions. But if you have questions as we go along, go ahead and pop them in the chat. All right, so I've showed you the 9 points. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to lead you through about a 6-minute tapping script. And so what you're going to do is just follow along with me. I'm going to tell you when to shift to the next point. I'm going to tell you exactly what point to do. And then you're going to repeat after me if you can. If you're in a place where you can say it out loud, then say it out loud. If you're not in a place where you can say it out loud, then just listen or think it in your mind. Also, another thing I didn't mention, if you're not able to tap, if you're just in pain or you're so fatigued or the tapping just doesn't feel good for some reason, you can just listen and visualize. There actually is studies that show that visualizing the action lights up those parts of the brain, the same parts of the brain that the tapping does. It calms down the part of the brain called the amygdala, which is our fight or flight response. So that's essentially what we're doing when we're tapping. We're giving that gentle stimulation to these acupressure points. It's increasing blood flow. It's increasing oxygen. It's increasing the flow of our lymphatic fluid, helping us heal, helping our immune system, calming down the brain, relaxing us. And that's essentially the point of tapping. So many other benefits as well. But so tonight, the script that I picked was releasing evening stress. It may not be evening where you are, and it may not be evening when you're watching this, but this is a great one to do in the evening. But you can also substitute evening with morning or just in general releasing stress. Okay, so what I'd like y'all to do at this point is to rate your level of anxiety from a scale of 0, which means I have no anxiety at all, to a 10, which is the worst anxiety imaginable, and just give it a number. I'm a little nervous tonight, so I'll say mine is maybe about a 5 right now. And so we're going to reassess after we do this round of tapping and see if we can get that to come down even just a point. Okay, so we're going to get started. Let's just start by rubbing our hands together, just kind of feeling a little bit of warmth there, taking a deep breath in and letting it out. Great. And we're going to start by tapping the side of the hand and repeat after me. Even though I have all of this built up tension, I am learning to love and accept myself and I choose to let this go. Okay, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that, what's called a setup statement, 3 times. And if you need to switch to the other hand, go ahead and do that. Okay, even though I feel more stressed than I'd like to feel, I am open to relaxing and breathing. Okay, even though I'm holding some stress from the day, I choose to accept myself and relax. All right, now we're going to go to the eyebrow point. All this tension from the day, repeat after me if you can. All of this stress, it's hard to let it go. What if I haven't done enough? Okay, let's go to the side of the eye now. All of this pressure, all of this worry, all this negative self-talk, all of these doubts about the day. Okay, let's go underneath the eye. It's hard to feel cheerful when I am so tired. All night, these worries set in. All these worries about tomorrow. Okay, go underneath the nose now. All of these worries about the future. There's so much still to think about. So many answers I still need. All of these fears. Okay, let's go to the chin now. This pressure that I put on myself. I don't feel like I'm doing enough. I should be further along. All of these judgments, all of these expectations. Okay, let's go to the collarbone point now. I feel like I can't keep up with everything. It never feels like I'm good enough. All this pressure that I put on myself. Okay, let's go to the side. I struggle to give myself a break. It just doesn't feel safe to relax. All of these thoughts that are running through my head, I just don't feel like I can control them. Okay, let's go to the top of the head now. What am I really scared of? And I want you to name something that comes to mind that's causing anxiety for you. Is it work? Is it finances? Is it a relationship? Is it your health? Say it out loud. What is causing you anxiety? It's safe to give this a voice. I acknowledge how I feel, and I can let this tension go in this moment. Okay, great. Let's go back to the eyebrow point. Let's do another round. As the day comes to an end, I give myself permission to relax. It's safe for me to take a break and let any stress go. Okay, side of the eye. I don't need to have all of the answers. I trust that they will come at the right time. Tonight, I can relax. or today I can relax. As I relax, I set my worries free. Okay, go to under the eye point now. I honor myself for all I've done today. And I choose to let go of any judgments. I'm further along than I realize. I'm smarter than I give myself credit for. Okay, go underneath the nose now. I am more loved than I know. Today or tonight, I relax into thoughts of gratitude. I am grateful that I had this day. And I release any regrets. Okay, go to the chin. I can let go of all of these rules and expectations. Tonight, I can enjoy what is. And as I let my worries go, my mind feels free. Okay, collarbone. I find peace within this moment, and my muscles begin to relax. There is nothing that I need to do in this moment. I can relax now, for tomorrow is another day. Okay, side of the arm. I replace my worry with faith. I know everything will be okay. And tonight I can simply let go. Okay, top of the head now. And realize how blessed I really am. I find comfort in the little things. And I give thanks for all my blessings. Tonight, I focus on everything I love about my life. And I can find peace within this moment. Okay, eyebrow point. I feel the tension leave my body. And my muscles relax at a deeper level now. Side of the eye. I feel comfortable and safe. My body can relax at an even deeper level. I thank my mind for all it does. Okay, under the eye. My mind can now relax as well. I trust that everything will work out. And so now I can rest. All right. Let's rub our hands together. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Just let it all go. Shake it out if you need to. Shake it out. And I like to end with my hands on my heart. Take a deep breath in and out. And then I like to re-rate my level of anxiety from a scale of 0 to 10 and compare it with the number that we did in the beginning. My number was a 5, and I definitely feel like my anxiety has gone down. I'll say probably 2 points. It's gone down to a 3, and that's progress. Has your number gone down even 1 point? If so, that's great. That's progress. If not, that's okay. You can repeat this tap if you need to. Anytime. It's recorded. It'll be put on my YouTube channel. which is called Holistic Healing Network, and you can rewatch it anytime you need it. All right. So, for those of you who are tuning in live, I would love to hear any feedback about your experience or any questions that you may have. Thoughts? Hey, Chelsea. All right. Chelsea says, lovely, thank you. Wonderful. Glad you guys are liking this. Sometimes it can take a little bit of practice too. As with all new habits, it definitely takes practice and repetition. But what I love about tapping is it really just doesn't take a lot of time to catch on to it, to learn it. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm glad y'all liked that. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how you can continue your tapping practice. There's multiple ways to practice tapping. One way is to work with a practitioner who is trained in EFT. I am definitely trained in EFT. I use EFT tapping myself pretty much daily. I like to do it in the morning. I like to do it in the evening before I go to bed, and I like to sprinkle it throughout my day. And sometimes, it doesn't have to look like a 7-minute tap. It can just look like tapping on one point. The collarbone point is usually my go-to point when I'm starting to feel like my fight or flight response going up the scale. I usually start to tap. If and there are ways to also do this that's not so obvious. If you're worried about doing this in public, for example, I figured out a way to do tapping pretty discreetly. I was in the dentist's office one day, and I was really nervous because I had to have some major dental work. And so what I did was I just kind of went through and just touched the points. I rested my arm on the side of the chair, and I just kind of went through the points and just touched them. I got 2 here by doing this kind of thing. And no one really knows what you're doing. I mean, when you're tapping and kind of being obvious and doing this, and you kind of look like a monkey, but there's ways to do it discreetly. You can also just kind of put your hand over your collarbone and people won't really know. You can kind of do this and touch the side point and people won't really know. You can kind of touch the top of the head right there and give it a little bit of stimulation. So there's ways to do it where it's not so obvious. And what else was I going to say? Yes. So you don't always have to go through like a 7-minute tap, a 10-minute tap. You can do that. If that's what you need, is to go through an entire run, a couple rounds of tapping, then do that. But if you don't have time to do that and you only have time to do maybe 30 seconds, then do the 30 seconds. Sometimes it only takes 30 seconds for your nervous system to kick in and respond, and for it to start shifting from the sympathetic, which again is, I think of it this way: sympathetic equals stress. Sympathetic, stress. Parasympathetic is peace, or you're deploying that parachute to get to a state of relaxation. You're deploying your parachute to get to safety. So you can just, play around with it, make it your own. You can tap without saying anything. You can just do it shorter if you need to do it shorter. I sometimes will do tapping in the car when I'm anxious about something. Maybe it's traffic. Maybe it's I'm worried about being late to an appointment. And so I'm driving with one hand and I'm tapping with the other, So there's lots of ways to do this. Another really great resource that I want to share is an app. There is a free app called the Tapping Solution. I'm going to put that up here for y'all. Love this app. It is probably one of my top 10 favorite apps for mental health. It's called the Tapping Solution. You can download it for free on your phone. You can also go to thetappingsolution.com, and there's some things on there. They have a podcast, so there's lots of great resources if you go to the website. And there's also a premium version. So there's a free version of the Tapping Solution, but there's a premium version that typically costs about $100 for a year for an annual subscription. But recently I was able to partner with the company as an affiliate and get a 50% off for my clients and 50% off for family, my community. I've put that link for y'all if you're interested in getting the 50% off on the year subscription for the Tapping Solution app. I've put that link in the notes of the video. I can put it up here, but it's a really long, convoluted link, and I haven't been able to turn it into a shorter one yet. So you're welcome to, I'll leave it up here for a couple minutes. You're welcome to write it down, but it's also, I've made it a clickable link and I've put it in the notes. So it should be in the show notes. I love this app. I've definitely gotten so much great use out of it. And it's wonderful because it's right at your fingertips. If you don't know what to say, that's the biggest thing that I get with clients is they'll say, but I don't know what to say. And especially if you're in fight or flight, your brain shuts down, your prefrontal cortex shuts down. You don't know what to say. And the app makes it so easy. You open up the app, you find one out of the hundreds of tapping meditations there are in the library. You pick one, you press play, and you follow along, much like what we did tonight. You followed along with me. There's not going to be a live person on the app. It's an avatar, but the avatar talks you through exactly what to say, exactly what point to tap, when to switch. And it's just great. It's, right at your fingertips. And there are so many options to choose from. Just to recap, there's ones on any emotion, all the major emotions: anxiety, anger, disappointment, resentment, sadness, grief. So if you can identify what emotion you're feeling, there's one for those emotions. There's ones for, if you're having cravings for sugar, if you're trying to eat healthier, you're trying to stay away from alcohol, you're trying to stay away from smoking. There's ones for that. There's ones to help you sleep. There's ones for all kinds of health issues: chronic pain, headaches, stomach aches, backaches, all kinds of stuff, autoimmune disorders, all kinds of health issues. There's all kinds of taps for negative habits or limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs, an example would be, I'm not good enough. There's some really good ones on I'm not good enough. There's some good ones on perfectionism, on setting boundaries, on procrastination, finances, getting out of debt. I mean, just so many things. And if there's one that you want them to do and they don't have one, there's a place to send them a message, send them a request, and they'll make it. It's pretty awesome. The founders of the Tapping Solution app are three siblings: Nick, Jessica, and Alex Ortner, and they created this app. And it's just a wonderful resource. They also wrote best-selling books: The Tapping Solution, The Tapping Solution for Pain Relief, The Tapping Solution for Weight Loss and Body Positivity, I think is also one of them. And when you get the Tapping Solution, you get access to all of those audiobooks. It's included. So if you like audiobooks, you can listen to those inside the app. Awesome. Okay. Let me just check the comments. Awesome. Hey, Laura. Hey, Sherry. Thank you for tuning in. So awesome. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Yeah, any questions that you have, just pop them in the chat. Let's see. What is the next thing on my list? Okay. So The next thing on my list is to talk about the work that I do. So as I was saying before, one way to use tapping and to practice it and get better at it and incorporate it into your regular life and your daily routine, or maybe even not daily, but your regular routine, weekly, however often you're able to do it, is to work with a practitioner. Of course, you can use the app and do it on your own, but it's also really valuable to work with a practitioner and do the tap in the session and talk about what comes up for you. Talk about what emotions came up for you, what thoughts came up for you. And that's something that I provide in my practice. So I will include some links here for y'all if anybody is interested in working with me one-on-one. This is one of my favorite things to do during session, is to do some taps. And it's also really neat because I love coming up with like specific tailored scripts to exactly what you're going through. You know, like the app is great because it gets pretty close. Like it's pretty darn close when you listen to some of these scripts. It's almost like, gosh, are they reading my mind? You know, it's very close to what I'm dealing with. But the benefit of working with a practitioner is we can really tailor it and get specific. And I'll take, you know, an entire session with a client and we'll write out specific setup statements, those statements that we did in the beginning. Even though I'm feeling fill in the blank, I choose to fill in the blank. I choose to relax and let this emotion go. I choose to acknowledge and accept myself, whatever it is. We come up with what fits for you. Because a lot of times you might use the tapping solution app and you might want to tweak the script. You can absolutely do that. Tweak it to make it fit for you. But that's also the benefit of working with a practitioner. So there is my website, and there's an opportunity to go on my website. You can read more about my areas of specialization, and you can also schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me. And actually, let me put that, well, I'll leave that up for just another minute, and then I'll switch over to the link where you can schedule a 30-minute consultation. And we can just talk and see if I'm a good fit for what you're looking for. And if I'm not a good fit for what you're looking for, I will spend that time and help you find someone who is. I will get an idea of, you know, what it is you are needing help with. And if it's something that's not in my area of expertise, then I can at least have an idea of what you are looking for and help match you with someone either that I know and can vouch for personally, or help guide you to one of the directories, whether it's Psychology Today or Zen Care. Those are the two major directories to find the right therapist. And that's psychologytoday.com or zencare.co. I didn't put those in writing, but those are definitely ones that you can also check out. So if you would like to schedule a free 30-minute consult with me, there is the link. It is calendly.com/Leah Petrucci therapy. And it's a great way to also, if you just have any questions, you can also email me. Let's see, did I put my email? My email is coaching@leahpetrucci.com. And of course, I put all of these in links in the description of the video. So, and I also put it on my Facebook page. If you're watching this on my Facebook page, you should also be able to find all of this information there. All right, let's see. What else do I want to put? Here's another opportunity. If you're not quite ready to schedule a consultation, but you just want to follow my work, there's several ways to do that. So my YouTube channel, if you're tuning in on my YouTube channel, you'll know that it's the Holistic Healing Network. You can just watch some of my videos and get an idea of the topics that I cover. It's pretty new, there's maybe about 20 videos on there, but my plan is to release weekly or bi-weekly videos. I also have a podcast called Holistic Healing Radio. There's only one episode so far, but it really gives you an idea of the work that I do, my background, why I do what I do. It tells you a little bit of my story about how I got into therapy and all the different areas of specialization that I have. And here's another option. I'll put this up here. If you want to get on my email list, where I will send you, I don't email every week, but I would say every 2 weeks or so, I send out a newsletter. And that gives you all the information, all the links. I update you on what projects I'm working on. I give you free health and wellness tips, free mental health tips. And you also get a copy of my relationship red flags checklist. So that's a PDF that I created to help people identify relationship red flags, especially if you have been in a relationship with a toxic partner in the past. And if you find yourself repeating that pattern, this is a great document to check out. So it's relationship red flags checklist, and that automatically puts you on my email list where you will get that news. You'll get the checklist right away, and then you'll periodically get my free newsletter. And there's a lot of goodies in there. So if you just you're not ready to schedule a consultation, but you want to just follow my work, there's multiple ways to do that. All right. And let's see. The last thing, I think I've covered everything that I want to cover. And good news, the dog is relaxed and chill. The weather calmed down and she is asleep and relaxed. So maybe us just doing this activity was relaxing for her. And you can do tapping on animals, by the way. So if you just learn the points, they're very similar on a dog and a cat. And sometimes I find they like if you just rub the points rather than tap. They might find the tapping a little annoying. But if you rub or even touch the point, they find that very relaxing, or at least that's been my experience. I'm also a pet sitter, so I often come across animals that struggle with storms and anxiety when their parents are away. So I like to do stuff like tapping or meditation. And so animals are very similar to us, really. So that's all I got for y'all. I am so grateful for you guys to tune in, and so appreciative that y'all took time out of your busy schedule to come tonight. And thank you all for watching on the replay. And if you're interested in doing this, the online gathering place, which is what this project is called, I'm hosting it on my YouTube channel, but what it is called the online gathering place. And it's just leading people in on an online platform in a free activity to help with their mental health, to help boost mood, to help reduce anxiety, to help calm the nervous system, or maybe just to have a little bit of fun. Rachel, who's in the audience tonight, she does a lot of these on her channel, and I put all of her information in the notes, in the description of the video and the show notes as well. So tune in to some of the ones that she does, and she is the heart and soul behind this project, and she's always looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in doing something like this, you don't have to, be a professional to do, of course, you could do the tapping, but do something else. Rachel did some trivia one night, some fun trivia, some breathing exercises, or, whatever, any activity that you can think of that you want to lead the audience. That's all you need to do. And here's the information to check that out. So if you're interested in volunteering, send Rachel an email at the onlinegatheringplace@gmail.com. Our goal is to eventually be able to operate 24/7. So people will have an online safe place to go 24 hours a day. So that's our hope. We've just started this project. This is my first time doing this, but I hope to bring this to y'all every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I would love it if you would tune in again next Wednesday. Put it on your calendar for every Wednesday if you want just some, scheduled self-care right before bed. Or, if you're not watching it at night, you want to watch the replay and get your morning started off right, do that too. If you need an afternoon break, whatever the case may be. Then join me at the Holistic Healing Network. You can also tune in live on my Facebook page, which you can find me by typing in my name, which is Leah Petrucci. And so hopefully I'll see some of y'all next week as well. Tell your friends, tell your clients, tell your loved ones, and we will hopefully see some of y'all next week. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. God bless. Thank you.